They didn't walk away when their feelings grew stronger. They slowed down. At first, it was confusing. The warmth was still there, the care hadn't disappeared, but something had shifted. The messages came with pauses. The laughter softened. The certainty they once carried now trembled slightly beneath the surface. What you didn't see was the quiet storm inside them. Falling in love didn't feel exciting to them at first. It felt risky. Old memories stirred. Times they trusted too quickly, loved too deeply, and paid for it with pieces of their heart they never fully got back. So instead of running toward you, they stood still, watching. Not to hurt you, not to play games, but to understand whether this time would be different. They showed you their uncertainty on purpose. Small hesitations, honest doubts, moments where they admitted they didn't have all the answers. And while it felt like distance, it was actually a question. Will you stay calm when I'm unsure? Will you still be kind when I'm afraid? Then they let more of themselves show. The parts they usually hide. The fears behind their confidence. The regrets behind their strength. They watched your face when the mask slipped. Listened to your tone when the story turned vulnerable. You didn't rush to fix them. You didn't pull away. You stayed. Time passed, and the excitement settled into something quieter. Ordinary days arrived. No drama, no intensity. And still, you showed up. Not louder, just consistently. That's when something inside them finally relaxed. They noticed how you treated strangers, how patience came naturally to you, how kindness didn't disappear when no one was watching. And without realizing it, they stopped testing. Because somewhere along the way, their heart had already decided. Love didn't arrive in a dramatic moment. It arrived in safety, in steadiness, in the feeling that this time their heart would be held, not broken. When someone begins to fall in love with you, it doesn't always look like the movies. They don't always rush closer. Sometimes they pause. Sometimes they take a step back. Not because they don't care, but because caring suddenly feels dangerous. Love, when it becomes real, awakens old fears. Fear of losing. Fear of opening wounds that took years to close. Fear of choosing wrong and paying for it with a broken heart. So instead of running toward you with promises, they slow down, they watch, they feel. They try to understand whether their heart would be safe in your hands. We grow up believing love is loud, that it chases, confesses, proves itself endlessly. But real love is quieter. It doesn't perform, it observes. This isn't about manipulation or games. It's about the unconscious ways people test safety when emotions start to matter. And if you felt this before, you weren't imagining it. You were being measured, not for perfection, but for protection. The first test begins with uncertainty. When they start falling for you, confidence doesn't grow, it cracks. They question timing, they question themselves, they question love itself. And instead of hiding that doubt, they let you see it. Maybe they hesitate. Maybe they pull back just a little after getting close. Maybe they admit fears they've never said out loud. They're watching how you respond when they're not strong. Do you pressure them for answers they don't have yet? Do you make their fear about your own ego? Or do you stay steady? Do you listen without panicking? Do you allow space without withdrawing warmth? Because at this stage, they're not testing how deeply you feel. They're testing whether their fear will be respected. And when you remain grounded instead of reactive, something inside them loosens. The walls lower. Trust begins to replace defense. The second test is quieter, but deeper. They stop trying to impress you. They let cracks show. They talk about disappointments they usually hide. Regrets. Old wounds, insecurities they learned to bury beneath confidence or humor. This isn't oversharing, it's an invitation. They're watching what you do with their vulnerability. Do you only admire the polished version of them? Or can you sit with the unfinished parts, the uncertain, messy human pieces? They notice if you flinch, if your energy shifts, if your interest fades when the image becomes real instead of ideal, and if you stay without fixing, without judging, without trying to reshape them, something softens. Because the quiet question behind every vulnerability is the same. If you really know me, will you still choose me? The third test happens when nothing is happening. The excitement settles. The conversations slow. Life becomes ordinary again. And this is where many connections fade, but not because love is gone. They're watching whether your presence depends on intensity. Do you disappear when things feel routine? Does your effort shrink when there's no spark to chase? Or do you remain consistent even when the days feel plain? Because love doesn't live in constant passion. It lives in showing up when it's easy to drift away. And when you stay steady, they stop bracing for abandonment. Your presence becomes reassurance. Love begins to feel like a place, not a moment. The fourth test is the one you never notice. They watch how you treat people who can't give you anything back. Not dramatically, not obviously, just quietly. They notice your tone, your patience, your restraint, how you treat others when kindness is inconvenient, because they're asking themselves a silent question. Is this how they'll treat me when I'm tired, struggling, or hard to love? If they see gentleness where no reward exists, trust deepens. Attraction seeks excitement. Love seeks safety. And when they realize your kindness isn't performative, your respect isn't conditional, something settles inside them. Eventually, the tests stop. Not because they stopped caring, but because they found what they were looking for. The guarding eases. The observation fades. Conversations become natural. Silence becomes comfortable. Trust replaces fear. This is when love stops asking questions and starts making choices. There are no grand announcements, no dramatic promises, just presence, consistency, choosing you even when nothing is at stake. Because the testing phase was never about control, it was about survival, about protecting a heart that remembers how much pain feels like. If you pass these tests without ever knowing they were happening, it means something rare. You made love feel safe, and when love feels safe, it stops questioning. If this story felt familiar, whether you were the one being tested or the one testing, pause with it. Real love doesn't rush. It reveals itself slowly, through patience, presence, and how we treat one another when no one is watching. When love finally feels safe, something beautiful begins. If this resonated with you, comment, "I see it now." Share this with someone learning how to love without fear. And subscribe for honest, soul-deep conversations about love, emotional truth, and human connection. If this story felt familiar, pause for a moment. Maybe you've been the one stepping back, or the one wondering why someone you care about suddenly grew quiet. This wasn't confusion. It was love learning how to feel safe. If this resonated with you, comment, "I understand now." Share this with someone who's learning to love without fear, or waiting for love to feel steady instead of rushed. And if you want more stories that speak to the heart, uncover emotional truth, and explore the quiet psychology of love, subscribe and stay with us, because real love doesn't shout, it shows up.